It is time for Tuesday Tales Live. Waiting for my guest to join me this evening. If she has trouble with her sign on, I'm going to just go ahead and run this last event for May on my own. Um, the rest of May, I'm actually going to be off the air because we are off to some provincial swim championships with my daughter and then a little vacation. I will be back with Tales Live in June, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I am Helen Harwood Snell, providing word alchemy for your business growth through communication intelligence and stories. And why I call it alchemy is because it is this kind of magic that mixes creativity and science. And we all don't have the creative aspect. We all don't have, kind of that brain connection necessarily, the science side of things, but we can actually learn how to put the two of those together to make really great communication that develops that know, like, and trust factor with our clients. So, I'm going to talk with you while we're waiting to see if LaDonna can come on. She's having some computer trouble. I can see her trying to get onto the call and she's not here quite yet. So I'm going to talk to you about just a little bit about how storytelling and how communication intelligence can really help connect you with your client. So I put a post out earlier this week. It might have been Monday, might have been on the weekend. I can't remember. Um, I saw this beautiful flowering crabapple tree from a distance. It looked a little bit, silver. There was kind of some shades of green and white. And as I got closer to the tree, I could see that the blossoms that were white were turning into like a pink flower. And then as I got even closer, I could see this beautiful, vibrant, pink fuchsia bud. And so I put out this post um, about the fact that your client base or your customer base or your audience is that tree. And, from a distance, we might think all of the customers look the same, or we might think they might look a little bit silver and green from a distance. As we get closer and you develop what's called your client avatar, we recognize certain characteristics. I primarily deal with women in my work. I do deal with men, but most of my messaging is geared to a female audience. I deal with entrepreneurs. Most of them are older, I would say over the age of 40. They're established in their business. They're looking to up level with their communication and their sales language. They're looking to get to that next level in their work, whether it's through copywriting for their website, for a presentation that I might ghostwrite for them, or for a book that's going to, establish them as an expert in their field. Those are all characteristics that hone in just a little bit more on who that customer avatar is. And when we get to that little fuchsia bud, that is actually the key to having those sales conversion conversations to make that avatar into your client. And that's because we see them for exactly who they are. So an avatar is a more pinpointed view of our customer. But when we can find out what their values are and we can speak to them in a way that they hear us because we're speaking to those values, that's when we truly can make the sale. That's when we can share information at a level that resonates with that particular person to generate the sale with them. And so I'm going to try to see if LaDonna is on the stage. Let me just check. I see something in the background, but I'm going to wait until I see her face. I just see a background. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to talk with you about a little bit more about this whole idea of honing in on people's values. So I work with a system called Codebreaker Technologies, or Bank. You may have heard of that. And I'm going to be training on Thursday night this week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, on how to use that communication intelligence to close the sale as part of their process. So I see now that LaDonna has joined us. I'm going to call her on the stage and make sure that she can hear us, and we're going to go ahead. LaDonna, welcome. You had a little trouble signing in.
I did. I'm so sorry.
That's
Text.
okay.
What
I
can you
took the opportunity to talk to the audience about my upcoming workshop on Thursday night. I was going to close with that, so I just opened with it instead, and I was hoping that you were going to be able to join us. So, yes, I would welcome to the stage everyone. Sorry for the little discombobulation, but I welcome LaDonna McAbee. She is a great friend I have known for probably about 5 years. And I have seen her grow by leaps and bounds in her business. She has a real heart for helping people, and that's really what she does in her business as a coach and a networking expert. So, LaDonna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much for having me. Helen, this is just a blessing. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I always like to start because, as you know from working with me in the past and hearing me speak at different things, that I feel a big part of um, our branding is about who we are as a person. So instead of asking you about your business, I'm going to ask you who you are outside of your work.
I am, let's see, I grew up in Arkansas. I know it's a small little state, and I was in a small little town, and it's not so small anymore. But I met my high school sweetheart there at 15. We married at 18. And we started our family several years later, and we have grown now to a family of 9 between our 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren, and blessed with a son-in-law. So I'm just a happy woman living life to the fullest.
That is wonderful, and that is so apparent in everything you do. So tell me three things that are most important to you.
Family is absolutely number one. Family is number one in my life, including the 3 fur babies, of course. Um, Number two are my clients or customers. They are they are so special because I hope that I have helped each and every person that I've ever met in my life somehow, way, shape, or form. And I just want to continue to do that. And number three is living life as a journey, a happy journey. I have a
Hmm.
saying that if you're not happy with your journey, change it. Life is too short.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got some comments in here. Margaret Thorley has joined us. Hi, Margaret. Thank you so much for watching. I have no idea what time it is where you are now, but I'm glad you're joining us. It might be early morning, maybe, I think. So tell us about your business now, LaDonna. I know it's been a bit of a journey. You've been an entrepreneur since way back when. Tell us what you're doing currently, and we're probably going to get into a little bit of that background of how you got there as well. But tell us what you're up to now.
Absolutely. I love helping other business owners grow their business to the fullest extreme that they wish. We all have different goals in our business, in our ventures, in our sales career or department heads, whatever that may be, because all of our businesses look different. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you call yourself a business owner, maybe you're at a sales team somewhere. I can help all of you grow your business however you want, and make it look like the way that you want it to look.
Absolutely. And is that through coaching specifically, LaDonna?
Well, that's one-on-one coaching, group coaching. I have some online courses. I have a membership group that I absolutely love and adore. Um, the people that are in my membership, we teach each other, we learn from each other. And so I have a variety of ways to help people. Yes.
Absolutely. That's great. And I love that. I think that is a kind of a well-rounded business model, right? When you have more than one offering, for sure. You have clients that might be able to come in on that one-on-one level, and you have other people who might want to dip their toe in and join that membership and see what things are about before they go ahead. So Margaret has told me it's 10:15 p.m. where she is. So thank you for staying awake, my love. Glad to see you here watching us. So what drew you into this business, LaDonna, of like networking and coaching and helping people with their business goals? What drew you to that work?
So way back when, many moons ago, as my grandchildren say, in the dinosaur years, my mother used to sell Avon a million years ago. And back then, you went door to door. Well, she would send LaDonna to do it, to deliver the Avon, to take the Avon orders. You took the little notepad around and wrote out the orders. And then you'd go back in 2 weeks with the order and pick up the money and go back. And I did all of that walking or on my bicycle, usually toting one of my younger siblings along the way with me. So I started my entrepreneurship probably as early as 7 or 8 years old. And you know
Wow.
what?
So
I
I
keep
have to
doing it.
ask you, did you charge your mama commission for that?
Oh, absolutely not. That was just part of getting fed and clothed.
There you go. But it was a learning process, right?
You know what? That is probably started me on the road of entrepreneurial environment, because I've really been doing that either in some type of sales, MLM, marketing, teaching, coaching my entire life. I mean, in one way, shape, or another. And I really love it. I really,
Yes.
truly love it. It's
And
given me a
so
chance to be who I am.
yeah, I was going to say, in the work that you're doing, so you talked about Avon, you talked about the fact that you've been a teacher and a team leader. Um, what kind of experience along the way do you really think adds to what it is that you're doing now as a coach?
In right out of high school, we got married, as I said before. I had the sweetest little Tupperware manager ever at Fort Hood, Texas, way back when. Her name was Ola. And she taught me so many lessons that I've never been taught in my childhood earlier than 18. Yes, I was 18. Driving a Mary Kay station wagon, because guess what Ola did? She made me into a Tupperware manager. Probably the first one ever at 18 years old. But I loved it. I was in nursing school. I did that. The husband was out playing army men in the woods and doing what, we were stateside, so nothing too critical. But he was gone a lot. So it really kept me busy and made that extra income that, a private household needs, even though it was just me and him. Still, when you have one little stripe on your shoulder, it doesn't pay a lot of money. So it did help a lot. And while I was
Yeah,
in nursing
absolutely.
school,
And
that
so
put me on the path.
and you said you learned some really great lessons from her. Is there one or two that you could share?
Absolutely. She taught me, do not live above your means. That was one lesson she taught me. Always be grateful for what I have. Always remember the positive side for everything and anything that I have in life. Now, I probably lost that a few times over the years when times would get bad and you want to be grumpy and sad and negative. but I can still see that woman in my head every once in a while pop up and say, "Oh, no, 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 dear. Think positive. Someone else always has it worse."
That's so good. It's so true. We can't hold on to those things all the time, right? We do have our dips and valleys. And I think one of the most important things we can do as entrepreneurs and as people is embrace those. You know, when we're having a bad day, we're having a bad day. We have to feel those feelings. You don't want to push them down, but it's always great to be able to have those teachings to go back to. And if there's anything I will say from having known you for these several years is you are an extremely positive person. So she has taught you well. You're always pleasant and happy, and you always see the bright side of everything.
Thank
So
you.
that was she was obviously a very good teacher for you. And so you've been doing the work that you're doing now for is it 2 or 3 years now that you've been doing the coaching and the networking?
I started right at when COVID started, believe it or not. And people are going to think that's weird, but it's really not. My story is, as I was sitting here looking at my husband, because everything in Texas was closed except his work and anything, fire related, police departments. But Texas Instruments did not close down because they wear the mask and smocks anyway. So why not work? Because he already wears that. So one evening I was sitting here talking to him because both of our daughters got COVID around the same time. So he had to take off work because of that. He was around them. So we were sitting here on like the 14th day going, what are we going to do? And I started talking to him about it's time for me to pivot in my entrepreneurial world. And he's like, what are you talking about? Everything's closed and you're starting a new business. I'm like, yes, not really new, just pivoting because I thought to myself, why are so many people going out of business and so many people going in business? Well, then I realized people are going in business because they got laid off from their work. This is a great opportunity, to start their new careers. But then I really realized, Helen, I think as people, we forget where our foundation roots are in life, as a person and as a business person, an employee, a business owner, whatever it may be, we have a foundation. And it's just like I live in Texas, so foundations in our world changes with our houses. So it's like that. If your foundation starts to crumble on one end of your house, your business is kind of lopsided.
Mm,
And that's exactly what happened during COVID. Their businesses started crumbling and they didn't know what to do. So they closed
yes.
their doors. And I thought, you know what? We need to get back to the basics of our foundation in our business, connecting, networking, and learning how to do it. And collaboration. Do you know still, Helen, 9 out of 10 people, if you put them in a room together, would not know the difference between networking and collaboration? It's just because we've forgotten about the foundation of our business, how we must treat our business is
Yes.
growth all the time.
Absolutely. And that's I love that you talked about that, the networking and the um collaboration and the growth, because there are businesses that truly thrived through the turmoil that we went through. And there are many that closed. And so I know that you had a brick and mortar store that you moved online. That was your original pivot. And you and I actually met through, I'm going to say, a North American networking group. That's actually how we met, was networking through a group in Florida. So you're in Texas, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and here we meet, you know, through another vehicle somewhere else, and have stayed in touch and followed each other's journeys these last few years. So yeah, and I'm sure that personal experience that you went through, having to come back to those basics and understand the things that are really important to a business are what you actually bring now in your coaching to help your clients understand, first of all, I think the value that they have if they're going to move into a collaboration. What do they have to offer? How can they actually, make that business grow and take advantage of the things that they have just from your own personal experience?
Absolutely. I just feel like if we help each other, Helen, and we give and give and give, we can't give it away every day, but we do give as entrepreneurs, and we will get back in return by
Yes.
just giving and
Yes.
teaching and being there for each other. And that's what I hope that everyone will get back to is the root is always. And so many businesses came through both of my daughters and my son-in-law were all in the restaurant business when COVID hit.
Mhm.
So we were feared that they were all going to lose their jobs. But guess
Yeah.
what? They all three still work at the very same restaurants, but the
Wow.
owners knew how to pivot.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I was just thinking, I wanted to ask you this question about, I just had it on the tip of my tongue and I just lost it. Um, oh, so yes, so along along the lines of, value and giving. So I wanted to express this, especially to the audience, if those of you out there are listening and you find yourselves to be a big-hearted person like LaDonna is, that there's something that I think that you've done that's also very wise though, because when you are a giver, you could have started your membership group as a free networking um, program. And one of the things that people who have big hearts have a hard time doing is putting value to what they actually having monetary value. We are all in business to make money. We're not in business for any other reason, right? So we do have to make money. And I love that you offer a very, very low priced monthly membership, and it's payable like 1 month at a time. And there's no, 1 year commitment or anything like that. But it's enough to make people commit and show up, but it's also not too much that it makes it out of range for people who are just looking to network and get their feet wet, and they're maybe not sure what things are about. So I think that's a really brilliant thing that you've done, because it's very easy when you have a big heart to just give things away. So I commend you for that. I do a lot of work with my clients in the proposition of writing content for them, sales copy, those kinds of things where I have to let them get over that giving part of themselves to actually be prepared to ask for a sale, because that's why you're in business, right? So I do commend you
Absolutely.
for that.
Thank you. And our membership is we get, I mean, Helen is a part of the membership. Right now it's $24 a month, and you get 10 to 12 events inside that membership absolutely free every month. Every
Yes.
month. And you get to come in and speak and learn and teach and sell and give away your products if that's what you want to do. Fill your seats at your next event. And we are a tight, loving, knitted group that
Yes.
we really nurture from each other, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I need to get my calendar schedule so that I can attend more of those, because they're just like warm hugs, but
Yes.
it's been a crazy spring for me thus far.
And life
So
does get crazy.
yes. But again, for $24, I'm like, that's okay. If I make one or two a month, I'm good. So it's all
Yeah,
good.
yes, you get up
So
and above one event for $24. So yes.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to show the audience now a little bit more about how storytelling can bring those elements together to develop that know, like, and trust factor. To help us win over those clients so that we can have those sales conversations. So I want to ask you to tell me a story about something, just a small event that happened to you recently, or maybe some memory from your childhood, some story that you'd like to share with us that I can turn into a business story for you.
Oh, absolutely. So, I have a client I would love to have a business story wrapped around. I have a client, she's in my coaching program. Um, she was not in the coaching business that she's in now when she came to me. And she's very dedicated. She helps the military when they decide to get out of the military of what to do, how to restructure their life.
Mm-hmm.
But she also helps women over 50 when they have to reset their lives because maybe a loss of a loved one, or maybe going through menopause, or maybe, a new career change. Women over 50 go through a lot of changes, Helen. So, and then she's a
Tell me
17
about it.
year veteran. So therefore, she knows what the veterans go through also. And being a woman coming from the military is a little different as well.
Right.
But she has blossomed so very much from day one to now. I tell her all the time, go back to when you first started speaking up, where I had to call your name to get you to speak. And now she's just blossomed that she wants to talk all the time. And she wants to speak in public. And she wants to teach and she wants to coach others. And you know what? That is so rewarding to me. That is so rewarding. And again, I would have loved to give that program away to her, but I did have to charge her. No yearly contract, but she shows up every week and she does her homework and she thrives.
Amazing. Amazing. So I'm gonna turn that into a story for you. One of the best stories that we can tell in business is about customer success. And so that's a really good opportunity to be able to share that. Whether it's through a testimonial, that's one thing. You can, post your testimonials on your website or whatever, but to be able to tell a story, I'm going to craft a story around this that you could share. I think if you were out, networking, and you could be talking about your business, and you could say, some people think that, with my background as a teacher and having put my family kind of before my entrepreneurial journey, that's maybe made it a difficult process for me. But I get so connected to my clients that their success is my success. And it's like having children, and it's like having a family. And so that is a real, um, it's a real testament to somebody who is a real nurturing, caring person in their job, to be able to see someone like this military veteran blossom in her work. Someone who was not very sociable and wasn't able to speak up at meetings, and now I'm seeing that happening, and I know that that's because of the nurturing that I gave her. So I want to just encourage you that nurturing is a great trait to have in business, to have somebody take you under their wing like a mentor, um, like a mother. Is certainly, it's a reward for me, and I just want to show you that that is the dedication that I take to my clients. So that is a story that you could tell. Um, when you're speaking about your business to people, I think it's great to be able to have testimonies in that way. And I hope that that's a story that you can use when you're out networking. So I really
Absolutely.
do. That's great. I do want to thank you so much for joining us today on the platform, LaDonna. Are there any events coming up? How can people get hold of you?
You can always reach me on my website. I made it very easy for you, LaDonnaMcAbee.com. You can always leave me a message there. There's a lot of opportunities there to read about my weekly events that I have, and also my August 10th event. We still have a few openings for speakers, and then, of course, attendees. It is a virtual event, so you can watch it anywhere where at the comfort of your home or speak from anywhere, from the comfort of your home or driving or vacationing, wherever you're at. And that's the beauty of our world today is we can be millions of miles away and still be on a virtual platform learning and teaching.
Yes. Amazing.
So
Now, if somebody does want to come to one of your weekly events, are they, is like the first one free, or is it just they drop a payment in to attend one if they're wanting to just do a one-off? How does that work?
it's even better than that. You get an entire 7 days for free, which is going to be anywhere between 1 to 3 events that week, depending on what we're having. So yes, you get an
Fabulous.
entire 7 days for free, and then your credit card will kick in on that seventh, eighth day. Unless you find some reason it's not going to work for you, then you let me know. We drop it. There is no commitment. I never want to be draining on anyone. I just want everyone to be successful.
Amazing. That's such a great opportunity. So I do encourage anyone who's watching, if you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. Let me know if you want me to connect you with LaDonna. Margaret, I do thank you for joining us. And I see you've got a little comment there. I need to ask for the sale. Yes, Margaret Thorley, you do, because you have some amazing products yourself, some amazing services that you can give to people. And I have someone I need to connect you with, Margaret. So thank you for watching tonight. So I do, again, LaDonna, I want to thank you so much. I encourage the audience to reach out to her. And I thank you, the audience, for joining us. Stories really do create meaningful connection for your audience. They give them an opportunity to see who you are as a person, like we pointed out tonight with LaDonna. And there is really science-backed data that shows how storytelling works to really create those connections with your clients. So I am going to be on hiatus for the rest of May. You won't see any Tuesday Tales again until June. I'm off on a little vacation and a swimming competition with my daughter. Super excited about that. In the meantime, if you do want to learn more about how you can apply storytelling to the sales process, I do have an event coming up on Thursday night this week, which is May 16th at 7 p.m. EST. It is an interactive workshop for only $37. You're going to go through 5 different points of using storytelling and communication to help you ease the sale and ask the question and close the sale. So I encourage you to join me on that, or check out my bio links if you want to check out some of my other offers there. So thank you again, LaDonna. So nice to see you. And thank you to the audience for joining, and we'll see you all again soon.